What stood out to you just getting a chance to look back on the first game this season?
On the first game? That was a while ago. I feel pretty happy. I thought it was a good start for us. Obviously, I feel like that's a game we should have won, and but I feel like we played hard and played pretty well. We didn't take anything for granted, and showed some maturity in doing that. So all in all, I felt coming out of it felt pretty good.
Lance referenced this after the game, but said the best tackling by your corners that he can remember seeing here. Do you agree? And has that been an emphasis, or where?
Yeah, I would tell you those guys tackle every day, like every day. They're doing some kind of tackling drill, so they've, I feel like there's just made more of a commitment to it, and I think our corners probably feel a little bit more confident with some added size and muscle and some strength and things like that, which always helps. And I don't think they liked kind of being thought of as people like, man, you can only cover, you can't really tackle. I think that gets to a guy's pride a little bit too. So I think all those things factor into it. But I can tell you one thing: they practice tackling.
Mm-hmm.
You had talked a little bit before the season about O.J. Burrows and kind of your goals for him and how he could improve. What did you see from him in the first game?
I thought O.J. played a really strong game, very consistent. I think he had about three pass breakups. Really drove on the ball well. Anticipated things, anticipated throws really well. Again, he's the solid rock back there in the secondary, and as much as anybody in terms of not being fooled, being a great communicator about what's going on, recognizing things. So he really played the way that I wanted to. He really did. I thought really happy with not only that game, but really all fall camp. He's been a really strong link for us all the way through it.
Even against like a lower level opponent, what do you think it can do for Dean Miller's confidence that he was able to get a sack, get a bunch of tackles out there?
Yeah, I was pretty fired up. That first drive, they went for it on fourth down, and got that sack, and I said, man, a couple guys look fast coming off the edge. So, and I think that they probably would have looked that way almost versus anybody. And so, Dean was really active, not just on that particular, not just the sack play, but he made some really nice plays in the run game also, getting off blocks, shedding blocks, and getting to the ball, and making some good plays. So that was a pretty strong start for him, and he didn't appear to be nervous or certainly the situation didn't get the best of him.
During the fall camp, you talked about different points of emphasis with defense. How did you feel like the team did this first game this month?
Well, they were in the red zone once, and they kicked a field goal. That was at the end of the game versus some of our younger guys. So I'm glad that we, I don't like the fact that they drove down the field, but I like the fact that they ended up kicking a field goal. So I think that part's good, and otherwise they never really got to it. And the other part was some of our third down stuff, and really they converted a couple pretty third and longs against us, which really the same formation, same pass route. We had different coverages up. Something we should be able to cover easily, and some reason we didn't. So those are always things you can point to that you could keep getting better at. So, but in other ways, our rush defense I thought was pretty solid, and obviously they didn't have a lot of yards and things like that. So I can't. There's always things that we've got to clean up, but all in all, I felt like we took some good steps in the areas that we needed to improve it.
Lance talked about Illinois improving its offensive line. They've got the new tackles. Just what seems different to you maybe about their offensive line than this time last year?
Yeah, they're all big guys. They're physical looking players, and I think they kind of recognized maybe in their own minds that's where they needed to improve, and they went out and they've put some pieces in there, and so they threw around their opponent pretty good last week themselves. So it's going to be a challenge for us, and I think it'll be good, a good point to see where we're at for the rest of the year, because we're obviously going to play some pretty good people up front, and they're significantly, in my mind, significantly better in that area.
Fegan only had, I think, one carry against you guys last year. What makes him, obviously he's a 250-pound running back, and he's pretty mobile with it too. What makes him kind of an intriguing challenge this week?
Well, yeah, I think that's part of it, right? Just his combination of some height and some weight, but he's not slow. So, he's probably more of a one cut kind of a runner. And said for us, I think it's pretty important we better get to him before he really turns the corner and gets ahead of steam, because that's where he can do a lot of damage. So, but they've got a really good combination of some different backs that play as well. They've started playing a guy that I think used to be maybe a receiver for him, that's now playing some running back and doing some things for them. So they've kind of got a good mix of some personnel back there that can challenge you in different ways. So again, guys, we got our work cut out for us, and they're certainly going to be prepared and ready and motivated, and so we're not sneaking up on anybody right now. So.
Blake Carroll got a lot of playing time last Thursday. Just what he showed you guys during camp that earned him that spot, and what did you think of the way he played?
I thought he played well. Again, I've probably said it a bunch of times in sessions like this. He's noticeable at practice because he goes hard, he does things the right way, and he applies things when it matters. So he's really got good instincts in there where he can take on a block, control his gap, see the ball commit somewhere else, and shed a blocker to his gap, and kind of become almost a two-gap player. So he does that really as good as anybody that we have. So he just keeps getting better. He's getting more reps, which I think will lead to some more game reps as well. And he just seems to be a guy that's getting better as we go along. I don't think he's tapped out in any way, shape, or form.
He was like 245, I think, when he camped here. What was it about him that you saw in his high school tape that you just think this guy's a defensive tackle?
Well, interesting for him. He got hurt. He didn't really have him play his senior year. And then I think his team folded up shop and didn't really have a senior year. So kind of really felt like there's a diamond in the rough. And he'll do whatever you ask. Hey, we need to put on 40 pounds. Well, a year later he's 45, 50 pounds heavier, right? So he'll do whatever you ask him to do. And if you can, DJ Withers was much the same our first year here. He was a defensive end when we came, and after about 2 practices, we moved him inside, and he's done the same thing. So those are guys that have just taken a hold and bought into what we're asking them to do, and it's just super great work ethic, and it pays off.